And then he says we have challenges out there. And there's, I'm going to go to 5 different tables. First table. Phyllis, you probably are not there yet, but I'll tell you what. The 4 of us standing right here, we get the senior citizen discount. I can tell you that. There'd be no doubt about that. We may or may not ask for it. We sure get it. And if we're not offered, we'll say, well, we are over 60, barely, but we are over 60. You see, we get that discount. But the first task that Adler talks about is the task of work and leisure, or work and play. And one of the biggest challenges we have for some of us who are aging is how we're going to do this play thing. How many of you grew up on a farm? All of you grew up on a farm. If you grew up on a farm, one of the things you get to do is you get to do chores 730 times a year. Yeah, you get to do chores 730 times a year. And then you work, and then when you get done working, you know what you get to do? You work some more, because you grew up on a farm, because that's the way you do things. You do these things twice a day, 365 days a year. I'm a farm kid. We had cows. I can milk cows with these hands. I have drilled a well with these hands. I have scooped corn and hauled bales and stacked hay with these hands. I don't know much about this leisure stuff that these people are talking about. The closest that I ever came to leisure was in the 70s. I had a leisure suit. And some of you remember the leisure suits, and don't even start with me, okay? The second thing, and I go around a wheel, the second challenge of living, I don't have these in order here, the second challenge of living is how do I take care of myself? How do I take care of my body? And how do I take care of my brain? How do you get your brain fed? How do you get your brain to growing? How do you get your brain to going? And how do you take care of your body? See, Ted, he figured out, well, he didn't like his body so well, so you've taken off 30? Taken off 30, yeah. This guy's an outdoorsman. He said, I got sick and tired of being like this, of having this tummy. So he did something about it. I'm proud of you, Ted. Proud of the work that you've done. And by the way, I love your pictures. And that's one of the ways that he takes care of himself. He's a photographer. And his wildlife photography is really, really awesome. He posts them about once a month, and it's a pleasure. It's just a pleasure to see. Maybe that's a little bit of that leisure time that I talk about. Now, the second born that I married, her name was Karen. She makes me go to movies. I go to movies. I'll tolerate them. I kind of like them, but I use Rotten Tomatoes. Any of you know Rotten Tomatoes? Before I go to a movie, I have to see what Rotten Tomatoes has it ranked. And if it has it ranked really, really high, I'll go. If it doesn't, I'm not going to go. There's a little bit of scotch in my Danish blood, I think. I'm going to save a little. So I need to do self-care and self-confidence. The next thing I need to figure out is how do I fit with my family and my friends and my community? How do I fit with my family and my friends? I have 2 dear friends, Mike and Matt. I'm a devout nothing. I have a strong and good spiritual life without benefit of an organization. Not quite true. But Mike and Matthew are both devout Roman Catholics. And I've encouraged them to become deacons so they can continue the work as they age. I think that's very, very important. They are wonderful, wonderful men. And I think they need to perpetuate that wonderfulness that they bring to the world. And one of them's really, really considering it, and the other one will, I think both of them will do it. I'm honored that they would serve others through one of the other life tasks, and that's spirituality. We got to figure that out, hey? We got to figure that out, the spirituality. And the other piece is not the spirituality. If you don't have a spiritual life, if you don't have a religious existence, you also have you have a philosophical stance. And the philosophical stance helps us know the difference between right and wrong, and ethical behavior and unethical behavior. And it took me a long time to figure out where I was with that whole spiritual life, because for many, many years I had a different spirit that I thought was my God. It was called alcohol. And in 1979, I quit drinking. And I don't consume alcohol. Don't mind if other people do, but I don't, because I don't drink smart. So I found a 12-step fellowship that I'm a member of, and I carry 2 chips in my pocket. One is one day at a time that I really like, and the other one is in celebration of my 35th year of sobriety, because, you know, thank you. And I think that helps us help others. I think the challenges we face in life helps us help others. And I can remember back before I quit drinking, I was a pretty good counselor, but anybody that came in with a drinking or drug problem I missed. I was blind to. I couldn't help them, because they were in my wheelhouse, and I couldn't get them out.